Hi everyone, thank you so much for attending. This is our first webinar. The topic we are going to talk about is the cybersecurity landscape of 2026. We have with us Brandon, who is um, who is someone with 15 years of sales experience. He's our APAC sales director. And then
Yeah.
we have with us Omar Memon, who is a Palo Alto technical training expert. He has a lot of experience in his arsenal as well. Welcome, Brandon and Omar. We look forward to an insightful session with you guys. Over to you guys.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Anjali, and good morning, everyone. We're here today to discuss the 2026 APAC cybersecurity landscape. I guess the reality of it is it's not just a standard yearly update. We've reached a genuine inflection point when it comes to cybersecurity, and so today we're going to move beyond the buzzwords of AI and look at the reality of what agentic AI and autonomous systems are doing as far as rewriting the systems around offensive and defense in the ANZ region. So just a quick snapshot around the inflection point as we look at the executive summary for this year. The core takeaway is the collapse of asymmetry. In 2020, AI was really just a tool humans used. In 2026, AI has become an agent and it can reason, discover vulnerabilities, and execute and exploit those autonomously. For us as defenders, really the only way to win is to combine these autonomous systems with a deep human expertise, and that's the theme of today's presentation. So just an overall feel of the agenda. It's pretty packed. We're going to start with a cold look at the ANZ threat landscape and using the latest ASD and NCSC data. We will perform a deep dive analysis into the Claude Mythos event that happened earlier this year in April. We'll look at how the big five vendors, Palo Alto, Fortinet, Checkpoint, Juniper, and Aruba have responded. And finally, we'll discuss how to use your 2026 end of financial year budget to bridge the talent gap through authorized instructor-led training. So I'm going to hand this over to Omar, who will go over section 1 around the threat landscape.
Thank you so much, Brandon. All right. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining. Thanks for your time. Nice to see you all over here. Well, as Brandon introduced the whole agenda for today, we are going to talk about how or what is the future of cybersecurity, how is AI going to be coming in. We'll talk about the Project Glasswing, which is launched recently. I don't know if you know about it, but we will get to know about it today. Coming to the ANZ, the Australia New Zealand threat picture. Now here, there's some numbers for you. There are about 1,200 plus incidents in FY 24-25. This is what the AHCSC has responded to. The 1,700 plus threat notification. 13% hits the critical infrastructure. And what is the average breach cost? Now these numbers are verified. We have figured it out properly. Okay. And when you look at those numbers, it tells you something. It has a story behind it. It talks about what is really happening in today's world, how things are moving ahead, why cybersecurity gets important by the day. I won't talk more about numbers. Numbers are something which you can find out. We have put the references on the slide deck. This is getting recorded. We will share the slide deck with you. So you can go and verify those numbers. So here again, some more numbers for the New Zealand and the region around us. What is the loss in quarter 1? What is the APAC role gap? What it makes, what these numbers mean to you. Look at the last one. We have cybersecurity workforce gap at 3.4 million unified roles. Now coming to what is the target? What is the risk warning? You see there is 280% surge in DDoS. There are 190 plus notification directed to supply chains. Operational shifts, attackers are prioritizing living off the land over malware. Now, this paints another picture. This says that the critical infrastructure is the most hit. Supply chains are the most hit things now. As an organization, as a company, as an individual, what are we trying to protect? As a cybersecurity engineer, the first most important part is visibility. If you don't see what is flowing through, you cannot protect it. Now, with the rise of attacks, your strategy has to be important. The strategic shift on what do we protect. Now, what are your crown jewels? What are your most important assets? You go and try to protect that first, assuming that something has to go wrong. So, what is more important to protect? Now, the last part, it says legacy purge, replace unsupported system. Now, with the rise of AI, it's not something of who has the right to use it. It's more about who uses it much better. And I talk about AI as a tool, and Brandon also introduced us that AI is no longer a tool. AI is more moving on the agentic part of it. Now, when we say AI is moving to the agentic part of it, and anyone can use it, it's not about who gets to use it. There is no attack versus defense. It's speed. If I get to use it in a good way, I can use it in a good way. If I use it in a bad way, I can use it in a bad way. It's still one agent which doesn't understand what is good or what is bad. It understands that I have this task, I have to complete this task. That is what AI, that is how we have to look at how to use AI. Now, this is what brings us to the main core topic of the agenda. I don't want to talk about numbers. Numbers, you can find it. A lot of resources available. We will be sharing the numbers with you. You can go and verify those numbers. What changed? AI on both sides of the line. Now, very recently, if you have been following the news, on 7th of April 2026, Anthropic, the company, they announced Cloud Mythos. Now, this was initially an AI agent which was very good at reasoning, which is good at coding. But one more capability was that AI tool finding vulnerabilities. Not only finding vulnerabilities, but finding them with speed. Finding them with speed. They did not train that AI for finding vulnerabilities, but it had that capabilities. It learned, it evolved, it got those capabilities. And what it did was it found out thousands of vulnerabilities across every major operating system. And if you see on the right hand side, talks about FreeBSD, an operating system which we use so often. OpenBSD, the most audited OS in commercial software. These vulnerabilities were found out. These vulnerabilities were found out. What it means for us? We have been using this. Everyone had been using this for years, but now we have a vulnerability. And not these two are just examples. Think about if it gets into the wrong hands. So what Anthropic did was, instead of releasing it to public, they asked vendors to come forward and to support the initiative. That we commit $100 million of credits in usage. You support us, we support you. We give you the tool, you find the vulnerabilities in your system. Now, why not public? Because as I told you, it's not about attack or defense anymore. It's all about speed. Who gets to use it? And if we get to use it, if I if I use it in a good way, I can do good things with it. If I use it in a bad way, I do bad things. AI has no understanding of emotions of what is good or what is bad. It is just like I'm a tool, I'm getting used. Now, this led to Project Glasswing. So Mythos came in. They found out the amazing capabilities what this AI tool had. And instead of releasing it to the public, we come up with Project Glasswing. Now, in Project Glasswing, 40 partners, Palo Alto Networks, Fortinet, Checkpoint, Microsoft, JP Morgan. These companies, they came together, they took the agent and they started finding out vulnerabilities in their own operating systems. Now, if you look at it, if this was released to the audience, to the general public, you're a good person, you'll be using it for good things. If you are a hacker, you can use it to find vulnerabilities. And if you go back in time, now to find out vulnerabilities, let's say without AI, what is happening? You need a very talented individual. You need efforts. You find out a vulnerability. You find ways to exploit that vulnerability. You design those attacks. You test it, you prove it, and then you patch it. It's just speed now. What AI is doing, getting the vulnerabilities, generating the exploits, attacking the vulnerability, and proving that this is a vulnerability. What it means for us as cybersecurity professionals, or what it means for the people in those organizations. A race against time to patch those vulnerabilities before they can be used in a bad way. That's what Mythos did. Anthropic did not release it to the public. They said, you use it, you support the movement, we form a closed movement around it, a Project Glasswing, and we go and start patching vulnerabilities. And in the first month of Glasswing, 10,000 plus bugs in 1 month. And if you read about it, it's high or critical vulnerabilities, which is in the world's most critical softwares. 2,000 of them are in Cloudflare alone. We all use it so often. Then a Glasswing partner bank, it used Mythos to detect and block a fraudulent wire transfer for $1.5 million. So it's not only about finding vulnerabilities, it's about finding them fast, it's about patching them fast. And this is what we are faced against. So bottleneck has flipped. There is no asymmetry. AI can be used on both sides of the line now. If you use it for the right thing or the wrong thing, now it's just about who gets to use it and who knows how to use it and how they use it. Now, why you should care? Now, why should you care about it? Because the patch tsunami has already started. Regulators are moving, and the window is nothing but a borrowed time. You cannot call it safe anymore. We have to go ahead, we have to patch the software, we have to release those operating system versions which don't have vulnerabilities because AI is doing that job for us. Previously, we used to take knife the open the free BSD vulnerability was hidden for about 20 years. What does that mean? No one really found out about it. They did. Maybe they were trying to. Maybe no one really cared about it. But when AI comes into the picture, it's doing things at machine speed. It is finding the vulnerability, generating exploits also to exploit that vulnerability. So that is what we are looking at. So why you should care now? Because the patch tsunami has started. Regulators are moving. The European Commission has engaged Anthropic for EU banking. The US Commerce Department begins safety testing for these frontier models. So the window is nothing but borrowed time itself. So AI is not only the one which is used for attack, we can use it for defense. I told you, it doesn't understand what is good or bad. It understands that this is what I have to do. This is my task. Without stopping, without pausing, without breaking, I'll be continuing to do my tasks. So 9% breach cost fell, $1.9 million saved per breach. 65% Australian organization run security AI and automation in the SOC. Now, when you talk about another very common thing which always comes up, that hey, you are just talking about AI and everyone is just talking about AI. We're talking about Mythos, we are talking about ChatGPT. So Anthropic basically became the ChatGPT movement for cybersecurity. And when ChatGPT came to us, just look at it. We all started using it. We started creating, everyone started creating those AI agents, and then we moved to agentic AI, like, all of these normal tasks which we used to do. We are asking AI to do it. Does that mean it replaces someone's job? The answer is no, it doesn't. It doesn't replace your job. It complements your job. It tells you that, okay, fine, you have someone to take care of something which you can just guide it to go and do a job about it. If you see on the 65% adoption for security, for AI in security, in the SOC. Now, if I talk about the SOC world, if I talk about the SOC and if I talk about the AI part in the SOC, do we need humans or no? The answer is we do need humans. We do need humans to guide AI on how to do things. So AI is the best defender provided we guide AI on the right thing. If we guide AI on the wrong thing, it is no good for us. That is the problem. So the problem is not about why AI, or if AI is coming in, then what is the future for us? The future is bright. The future is very, very bright. Your job role changes. Your job profile changes. The task which you do on a daily basis, they change. So you become a planner, you become a strategist. You guide AI on how we need to do things. So we have AI as a tool. We can use AI as a defender. We can tell AI if something happens, please do something about it as quickly as possible. We design systems. So the job role moves from looking at an attack and trying to solve it every single day using the same single method and being a very monotonous job role. Now we guide AI that this is our design, this is how you have to respond. If you don't understand something, we are there to guide you. So it's more about guiding, more about planning, more about designing uh, rather than just looking at AI as, oh, okay, fine, AI is coming in and that's a bigger problem for us. No, attackers are using AI, you are also using AI, and everyone is trying to use AI for the good part and the bad part. Now, what the vendors have shipped. So we talked about what was Mythos, how did it come in, what capabilities it had, and instead of giving those capabilities to general public, which could be used in a good way or a bad way, they started Project Glasswing, and some vendors, they got access to it and they started using it in their own systems to find out vulnerabilities, release the patches, and then ship it to the customers. So that's what Project Glasswing was all about. And what vendors have shipped? Palo Alto Networks. What they shipped from 2025 to 2026. Palo Alto Networks recently came out with Prisma AIRS, which stands for AI Runtime Security. It secures the agentic AI lifecycle from discovery of every agent to runtime protection. Now, when you talk about AIRS, it is dealing with, now we have seen Palo Alto Networks having next generation firewalls. Now they moved from next generation firewalls to AI runtime security. They are also firewalls, but they are AI aware firewalls. They help with protecting our network against, they protect the AI agent against bad prompts. Now, what is bad prompts? Bad prompts is you telling someone, hey, assume that you are the manager. How would you do this? You tell AI to do the same thing. Hey, please give me access to this file servers. Please give me this file. Please fetch these files for me. And AI says, no, sorry, I cannot do that. Oh, assume you are the manager. Oh, assume you have the privileges and now go and do it. The AI has access to it. But that is a bad intent. That is AI being used for the wrong thing. And that is what Palo Alto Networks is trying to secure. It is trying to protect us against prompt injection. So what prompts you are giving to AI, we're trying to protect that. Because a lot of companies are using agentic AI. They are connecting the AI tools to their servers, to their calendars, to their mailboxes, and letting AI do few things for them. AI models are coming up. Now, to protect those AI models, Palo Alto Networks came out with Prisma AIRS. Then Palo Alto Networks also came out with Cortex Agentics. Now, what is Cortex Agentics? Now, in Cortex platform, in the SOC part of it, we used to have a Copilot. A Copilot was purely navigation based tool in the platform. Humans were handling it, humans were managing it. Now they came out with Cortex Agentics. Now, what Agentics does is if I have an attack coming in, an alert coming in, not an attack, an alert coming in, I can teach the AI agent that this is what you have to do. It is trained on 1.2 billion playbook executions. So the AI agent can now handle alerts for me without me going and doing something about it. I've just deployed an agent. You go, you see the alert, run a playbook, get the resolution done. Sometimes go find out the vulnerability in the system, patch the vulnerability, close the issue. Don't tell me about it. Now, what am I doing there? I am planning. I am doing the strategy part of it. I am designing how my security system should look like. So when people say that is AI going to replace job? No, no, no. We need more people. We need a lot of other people who are not doing the task of just clicking buttons. Anyone can click. And that is what we got AI for. You want to click something, we will teach you how to click. But when to click, what to click, how to click, that is something which you have to think about. That is the whole strategy part of things. So you are more of a designer rather than someone who just comes and creates a rule on the firewall or who creates a rule in the system. AI can do that for you. You teach AI to create a rule, AI will do that. So next generation trust security automates certificate lifecycle post quantum readiness. So here, as a Glasswing partner, Palo Alto is finding bugs, shipping it faster, getting more operating system versions released with time. Then other vendors, we have Fortinet. Now, FortiAI rolled out across the entire security fabric, protects LLM applications. So if you see, it combines Gen AI, Agentic AI, AI Ops. Analysts run queries in natural language and trigger automated remediation. So the AI can click those buttons for you. You teach AI that this is the button you have to click, this rule you want to create, this URL you want to block, this endpoint you want to isolate. You can do all of that. So AI can do that for you. But how to do? What is the design behind it? What is the logic behind it? That is where you come in as an individual. So when we talk about the gap, that 3.4 million cybersecurity engineer gap, these roles are to guide AI. It's not the time to think about is AI going to replace my job? No, no, no. A new job role will be created. You have to fill in that particular role gap. So this is what we are looking at in the future. So Fortinet reports AI now handles 90% of routine security alerts for enterprise customers. So that's what we're talking about, right? You don't want someone sitting on the desk and doing the alert handling, the same alert, the same procedure, leading to a burnout at the end of the day. Let AI do that. You teach AI what to do. Checkpoint, another vendor for Project Glasswing. They also have Infinity AI Copilot available across the Infinity platform. Trained on 30 years of checkpoint intelligence, cuts the routine time by 90%. Now you see, again, it is doing the job which was done earlier by someone, sitting and clicking. Now the AI is doing it for you. Then Juniper also has Marvis AI, self-driving network operations across wired, wireless LAN, wireless WAN security, and the data center. Now, what it does, it remediates misconfigured ports, capacity issues, non-compliant hardware. Things which we used to do at one point in time, AI is now doing it. Misconfigurations are primary drivers of lateral movement. You understand it. It's always the human which is involved at the center of the attack all the time. So security is not looking at misconfigurations. We teach AI. This is how the configuration should look like. This is how the design should look like. Go and check if the design is proper. It goes, audits the system, sees, oh, this is wrong. The person who designed it told me this is how it has to look. I don't have to go and I don't have to. I just have to go and close that misconfiguration gap which has been created. They have to close that particular security gap which exists. This is what we are using AI for. So you see, in all the four scenarios till now, even the fifth one for Aruba, we are not talking about replacing designing part of it. We are talking about someone who we need for the designing part, but we are replacing the daily activities. Go and find out, close a port, do a configuration, click this button, create this rule. We move away from all that, and this is the shift which is happening currently. So what Aruba shift? Aruba, HPE Aruba shift. So they shift the unified SASE platform with ZTNA, secure web gateway, CASB, DLP delivered as one platform with one single interface, and we use AI for device ID and authentication. So pattern is clearer, and now there are 40 partners in Project Glasswing. We just talked about few partners. You can read more about it. You can see who are the other partners. CrowdStrike is there, ServiceNow is there, Ivanti is there. Everyone is talking about AI in security, AI in networking, AI in governance, AI in auditing. So every vendor is trying to make AI as a part of the defense portfolio. Why? Because attackers already have it. Now, that is what my whole point of discussion was. It's not about who has it, it's not about a tool which I get to use or you get to use. Anyone gets to use. Now, how I use it or how you use it or how someone else use it, that is the question now. If I use it for good things, if I use it for defense, I can teach AI this is what we have to patch. I teach AI this is how the defense should look like. I don't have to wake up someone in the middle of the night and be like, can you please take care of this alert? I can deploy the AI. I can like, okay, fine, this is what you're doing. You don't need sleep. You can just work throughout. This is what my design should look like. This is what you have to configure. If I can do it, same thing the attacker can do it. This is the thing which you need to attack. This is how you have to work. Find out this configuration, this misconfiguration, this gap, and fire. They don't have to sit on their machines to fire. AI can fire. That's what clicking can be replaced. Clicking is happening autonomously. You can just teach someone how to click at machine speed. No breaks, no sleep times, no coffee breaks, no going out, no relaxing, nothing. Machine is there. It is doing its job 24 into 7. So why don't we get security also enabled with AI? So it's all when we talk about AI, uh it's not about replacing someone. It's all about enabling AI, teaching AI how to do things. And then the question comes in. Okay, fine. If AI is going to sit with me right here, what am I doing? I am guiding AI. So every time this question comes up for security or for any fields of AI, people ask, okay, this AI is going to take all of our jobs, and everyone is worried about it. Oh no, AI is coming, AI is going to take up some jobs. Look at the time when computers came in. People thought that, oh, we do these things manually. Now it's a machine which can do things so fast. Calculator came in. Oh, I was doing calculators by writing everything on paper and then doing it. Oh, now the machine does it. Did it replace jobs? No. But it created so many jobs today. This is the shift which we are also experiencing. So the shift is it's not about talking about replacement. It's talking about how to use it for the best of our security. How to guide AI, become more of a designer, become more of a strategic planner rather than being someone who is just clicking buttons. So if you see in each vendor, the pattern is clear. They got someone to click the buttons. They have a tool which clicks the buttons now. They still need people who can audit, who can see what they are doing, who can trust what they're doing, who can guide what AI is doing. So the pattern, the shift is very visible. We don't, AI is not replacing us, but AI is acting as a complementary role in our organization. So we will use AI to help us with our jobs, to help us with our security, to help us with our network designing, planning, and securing, rather than thinking of AI as someone who's going to steal away the jobs or remove our roles or something like that. So that's not the shift. You don't need to worry about that. Even if you have been watching news recently, all the cybersecurity companies are saying that AI is, they're hiring more people than what they used to do before, because we need people to now manage the whole AI security stack. We need people to design, we need people to guide organizations, to guide enterprises on how to use AI, how to enable the use of AI, how to configure it, how to tune it, how to trust it, how to audit it. So we need more designers. We need more people who understand networks rather than someone like, we don't need analysts. We don't need someone to click buttons. So if you come in and be like, I know how to click this, I know how to create this rule. The question is, why are you creating this? Not how are you creating this? How AI can do it. I have a tool who can do it at speed, which is way faster than you. But the question is the reasoning part of it. Why are you going to do it? So that is where we need people to come in and fill the gap. And I would just hand over to Brandon to talk about what.
Amazing, amazing. That was
Thank
a very good session, Omar. You really highlighted a lot of things, and there are a lot of things for me as a novice who does not know a lot about what these tools are up to. I have a basic idea, but I got to learn so much, and I'm pretty sure all the participants here they would share my thought here. They would be on the same page. That said, over to Brandon. We look forward to see what you have to share with us.
Thanks, Omar. Thanks, Anjali. And Omar, you discussed it a bunch, and bringing up people as a big part of the equation. So this section is really talking about that people gap and why a smart stack without skilled teams is still a breach waiting to happen. I guess the reality is that we're in an arms race of cybersecurity right now, and the technology is only half the story. True resilience is defined by the expertise at the hands of those people that operate the technology. And I'm going to say people a lot in this section. We're going to explore how and why authorized training isn't just extra cost, it's resilience. And it's not a product that you're buying, it's the outcome of expertise. And then we're going to look at how you can maximize your ROI through authorized instructor-led training. So just to move along here. So we've got a workforce gap in ANZ. We have the tools, but why are we still losing? We are operating in the most talent-starved region on Earth. According to it's a little bit old as far as the data goes, but 2023 ISC2 study, the JPAC and ANZ falls into that region, is facing a staggering shortfall of roughly 2.6 million cybersecurity professionals. And according to some sources, the gap has grown to as many as 3.4 million just in APAC alone. It is the most credentialed region in the world, but we have the slowest response times, and we have plenty of people with certificates, but not enough people with the battlefield experience to actually do the job. So I guess perhaps more concerning, and an additional point to this, is that 92% of active security teams report a significant skills gap in their knowledge with all of these new AI tools that are coming in to place. It means the organizations aren't just inefficient, you're now dangerously exposed to threats. So what do the critical operational hazards really look like? It breaks down into 3 categories. It looks like misconfigurations. The NSA reports the misconfiguration is the primary driver for cloud-based data theft. It looks like an average dwell time of 16 days. Attackers can get in there, be in your systems, looking at your networks, stealing information for 16 days because your team lacks the mastery to hunt for them using the AI tools that are available to them now. They lack the mastery to perform of the platform that reduces the window from days to minutes. And increasingly, and especially in the APAC region, it looks like a compliance risk as national mandates in places like Australia with APRA CPS 234. The reality means that training isn't just a nice to have, it's a legal mandate for technical competence and now required as documented proof for your teams from a legal perspective. So if we quantify the business risks, some more data to look at. IBM is reporting the average breach is costing companies $4.45 million. Verizon finding 75 or 74% of breaches involve a human element. If we look at the financial stakes, means the untrained administrator is now a multi-million-dollar liability. And conversely, trained engineer is your first line of financial defense. Technical enablement is no longer an HR perk, is a critical financial control for your businesses. And then we can talk about the ILT advantage. Now, there's YouTube certified, which is not compliant in a legal perspective. The core of our recommendation is that authorized instructor-led training, it yields a 70% retention rate with your staff, as well as a 30% reduction in mean time to resolution. When your team has broken and fixed lab environments, which they can't get from YouTube certification, they don't panic when a production environment goes down. They know what to do. They know how to fix it. They know how to repair it using those live lab environments. When you move from an untrained workforce to a Datacipher optimized one, your mean time to detect can drop from an industry average of 16 days, which I talked about in the previous slide, to under 10 minutes. According to the IDC, administrative efficiency jumps by that 30% number you see in the left of the screen, and you move from reactive uptime to that proactive and elusive 4 nines environment. And then most importantly, with a market with a 2.6 to 3.4 million person skills gap, you're retaining your staff. Your people stay where they're developed. LinkedIn data shows that 94% of employees will stay longer at companies that invest in their development, which is a very important statistic. And then from a strategic partner perspective, why choose Datacipher? It's where we come in. We're the authorized training partner for your entire security stack that we've discussed today. We were the 2024 PANW JPAC Training Partner of the Year for a reason. We bring field active experts into the classroom with June 30 approaching, now's the time to secure your team's 2026 roadmap. We offer scale that few can match. We have 60 plus global instructors. We have an expanding bench of 14 dedicated Palo Alto training professionals. We provide guaranteed to run schedules, meaning that if you book something for mission critical projects, Your training's not going to be delayed by cancellations. And we're established with a global presence. So if you can't find something in your local time zone, we run globally and are able to support in that regard. Now, my section's a little shorter. I don't have as much data as Omar has had, so we'll open the floor up to questions if you want to add them to the chat, and Jelly
Yes.
will let us know. But we've also got some frequently asked questions that we can bring in a bit of a live discussion here to finish off the conversation.
Amazing. So, if you guys have any questions, we look forward to having them. And while you type them in the chat box, I have a few questions we prepared for already given Brandon's and Omar's expertise. And we really wanted to pick their brain here. So, we have a set of questions, and you guys feel free to type in your questions in the chat box as well. We have some time, and Brandon and Omar would try to take as many questions as possible. In the meanwhile, there's one question that I have in the back of my mind, Brandon and Omar. Feel free to answer whoever has an answer here. But we have talked so much about the threat landscape. We have talked about what companies have done now. If someone asks you for if a cybersecurity professional asks you what skill set should they prepare for over the next 2 3 years to be AI ready for the next stage, what would be your answer? What skill set should they have?
I'll take that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so the question which you asked was what skills cybersecurity professionals would need over the next 2, 3 years. Now, as I was talking in the presentation, that we don't need someone who can click buttons. We don't need someone who can create a firewall rule. So the clicking part, or if you talk about a SOC analyst, doing the initial triaging part, looking at the alert, getting a verdict of the artifacts involved in that alert, we don't need people to do that. We need people who understand the business context, the risk involved, the design part, the strategy part of it. That if you are doing this, why are you doing this? So we need someone to understand more on the designing part rather than just being someone who is able to click buttons. So it's not anything about certifications. It is about certifications for sure, but it is also about it's also about understanding the context, the risk involved behind it, taking those decisions. We need decision makers in the future. So not as to why, it's not about how do I create a rule, but it's about why do I do what I do. So that is what I would like to just summarize it with. We just need people to think more and understand the flow, understand the design, understand the architects rather than just being someone that, oh, I know how to create a rule about this, or oh, I know how to triage this alert. We don't want people who working at L1. We can replace all of those things. We need someone to work above that level. So
Amazing, amazing. That's a very good answer, Omar. But if I had to ask a follow-up question here, so what do you think? Where are I think Brandon, you might have an answer to this because
Mhm.
you are in the sales one, and I would like to invite views from Omar as well. So, what do you think? Where are organizations investing more money? Are they investing more money in people or in tools? And what do you think is the right balance here? What is the right balance between people? Because I read a report where we could see, like, as much as there's a people gap, there's also a tools gap. So what exactly is the right balance here? Because we are AI first now, and people, as Omar said, we have to design the systems. You need people to design the systems. So which is the right balance? More people or more tools?
I can jump in and I guess answer that. I think over maybe the last 18 months and maybe the first 6 to 8 months of that 18 months, there was a propensity for organizations to invest in AI in the assumption that it's going to solve all their problems. And this is not just a cybersecurity perspective, but all aspects of an organization. And what they've come to realize is that they still need people to run and supervise those tools that they're putting in place. And the balance now is that there needs to be, if you're going to invest into AI tools, or any tools, as an example, you need to bring the people along with it. There's a massive gap from a cybersecurity perspective. So investing in training and upskilling is going to be a top priority, and should be a top priority for businesses that want to leverage those tools that they've spent the last 18 months to 2 years using and purchasing.
Okay. So upskilling is the answer here. You want tools, but you want to make sure that people are equipped to be able to handle these tools as well. Is that
Yes,
would that be a correct way to put it?
that's a very succinct way to put it. to summarize,
Amazing.
those are some excellent Coles notes.
Amazing, amazing. So, following up on that, if an organization in APAC or any region, they are planning the
Yeah.
cybersecurity roadmap for the next year or so, what should be the top priority? I understand you said upskilling, but if I'm going to pick top two, what would that be?
Yeah, so if they're looking in investing a cybersecurity roadmap in the next year, it goes back to my previous answer. If you're going to invest in tools, you've got to bring the people along with you, and you can't just. Not everything's a hammer. It's you've got to have the skill to be able to use these different tools within your organization. Otherwise, they'll sit there and be ineffective. They'll be configured incorrectly. They won't be on, and if they're not on, they're not being utilized, and they're not on because people don't know how to use them. So it's if you're gonna do one, you have to do the other.
So yeah, upskilling it is. I think that is the underlying word here. You have to make sure that you are on path. Amazing, amazing. Next question, I think you would find the next question really interesting. So when I read about it, I thought this is so cool, and I was wondering, I was thinking maybe Omar could answer this. So Omar, like, because you are on the front end here, you are training people, you are meeting so many people. So there are a lot of skill set that they talk about and they bring in when they come to the classes. So which skill set is it that really looks impressive on paper, but when you're in a real world security environment, it is not enough. You feel like this is not enough. Like you should do more. If you could give us an insight on that.
Uh, it's all about coming in with certifications, but not really knowing the basics.
Okay.
You can clear the exam, you can read a book, you can go get a certification, but when you're solving real world problems, you need to know how things work. We don't need someone to show me that if I can click this. I just need to understand what is happening in the background. So, well, real world experience always beats certificate. Certifications are valuable, they are a proof that you have done things, but rather than just mugging up things, rather try to understand what happens behind the scenes, because certifications will take you to a point, will take you to a level, but to go beyond that, you need some understanding on the basics part of it. So basics
I
don't
think I
on
think
And,
that's
and
what
I
data
was just
ciphers.
gonna add,
Yes,
I would just
Brandon.
add to that. I would just add to that that the certification, if you look at it as validating a skill as opposed to showing that you've got, like, it's a validation of a skill as opposed to an achievement. Like, some people are very, very good at passing tests, and as a result, they can get lots and lots of different certification, but it doesn't mean they actually understand the concepts behind it. And that's where I go back to my YouTube certification is not enablement. It's just a certification.
perfect.
Amazing. So, and I think data cipher training helps here, if I could underline that, because we use real world examples and we understand deployments. Even I think we change the example based on the user's experience level. We have had a session with Omar where he talked about how he gives analogies that makes understanding concepts much clearer. This is such an amazing answer. Like, certification are just validation, but they don't necessarily ensure that you have the skill to deploy. But however, I think a big shout out to Datacipher. The training could help. You could have the certification and you could have the skills too.
Mhm.
So
Very,
that's
very true. You can do both.
amazing, amazing. So I think we are going to go over the last question for the session today. And I think a lot of people who is in our LinkedIn or on our YouTube, they have this question. So if there's a person who is early or in the mid career of the cybersecurity journey, what would you tell them to stop doing? And what would you ask them? One thing that you would ask them to stop doing, and one thing you would ask them to start doing today. For anyone who is very early or in the mid of the cybersecurity journey, they're still not up to the high level. But one thing they should stop and start doing.
I'm gonna suggest that Omar takes that one.
Oh yeah,
The best advice is stop reading and start doing. That's what I would say.
Very
Build your
good.
own labs, uh, enroll in trainings where they give you some lab experience, get an internship, contribute something to projects. So rather than just reading a blog or reading a document, I would rather say just try to get a feel of it, like what is really happening there. That will help you more than reading would ever help you.
so practical experience surpasses theory here.
Sorry?
Practical experience surpasses theory. Rather than getting
Always,
theoretical, it's always about getting practical.
always.
And that's a beautiful advice.
Yeah, muscle memory is always more stronger than your visual memory. If I've done something, I know that this works or doesn't work. If I just tell me that this works, I just read about it, I'm not sure about it. So, yeah.
That's a beautiful advice in life as well. I believe, Omar.
Get out there and break stuff.
Of course, get it out there and break
Yeah,
stuff. That's the way to do it. I mean,
yeah.
you have put it more succinctly, Brandon. Here, get out there and break stuff. Amazing. Participants, here's your last chance. If you have any questions, you could maybe even unmute yourself if you don't want to put it in the chat box. Uh, we would be available for 1 more minute if there are any more questions, or else we would be wrapping up this session. Any questions, anyone? Maybe you can raise your hand and we could put the spotlight on you. Anyone? I've also enabled the video and mute buttons for each of you so you can unmute yourself and maybe share your questions. Nope, no questions. No worries. Brandon, Omar, this has been such an enlightening session. I got to learn so much in this morning than I have learned maybe in 6 months uh, about cybersecurity. From what I could see, the cybersecurity landscape is vast. There are a lot of companies doing a lot of things. Project Glasswing is bringing in a lot of opportunities. The vulnerabilities landscape has changed as well. I mean, as many patches are coming in, the threat is equally there. We look forward to see what goes in the next few months. But I believe there are going to be a lot more webinars where you, Brandon, or Omar, or maybe other team members of Datacipher would be talking, sharing the stage with us, and giving us an update about the state of cybersecurity landscape. This was such a beautiful experience talking to you guys. Thank you so much. And you all were a very patient and a very kind audience. Thank you for being
Mhm.
with us. So over to you, Brandon and Omar, to sign off and say bye bye. And maybe we'll meet sometime again this year. Until next time. So Brandon and Omar, if you'd like to say something to our
Thank you
audience, then
Thank you very much, everyone, for attending. And as Anjali mentioned, all of this will be shared. The slide deck will be shared after the fact. If you do have any questions, we are available via training@datacipher.net. Or if you're in the Australian region, feel free to reach out to me directly, either brandon.allen@datacipher.net, or via LinkedIn, which is, I believe, will be shared as well.
Yes, we will be sharing it with the recording of the webinar.
Great.
Amazing.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day. Thank you, Brandon and Omar.